Honestly, I feel like if I could do my 20s over again, I really would. I really would redo my
But we
20s.
had to do our 20s like that.
I know. I guess you're right, but bro, like being such a giving to the point where you're crippled yourself is crazy. And to continue to be that docile and that nice is it's like it's hard to not think that everything is like the good witch. She's so oblivious that she doesn't even know that what she's doing is wrong.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode this week. I'm happy because I'm sitting down with another return guest, my girl, Samantha. Hey, girl. How you doing?
Doing good. Life is good. Can't complain.
Period. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to be diving into a new conversation today.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell the people a little bit about yourself in case they didn't catch our first episode?
Yes. So my name is Samantha. You could also call me Shamantha. And I'm your local plant medicine enthusiast. And I just love everything that has to do with herbs, my traditions, and just really spreading that conversation of healing, how to use your own tools to self-heal, and my biggest thing has been music and sound. So that's who I am.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. The last episode, we talked a little bit about plant medicine,
Yep.
but today we're going to be talking a little bit about witch vibes, witch runes, all things witch. I know that we're in this era of more women coming out and claiming to be a witch, or claiming that name for themselves, or being
Right.
okay, being comfortable with being called a witch or whatever, or being
Right.
okay with the rituals and things like that. Can we dive into that? Would you
Yes.
call yourself a witch?
Okay, so I think as women in general, I feel like we have, or when you're trying to find your place in the world, you try to find a title that fits. And I learned very early on, I had my first kid at 24. So I think having a womb and being a mom that early, that kind of gives you another title on its own. Like you are a bearer of life. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it. But I didn't always like the term witch. And I'm Puerto Rican. I grew up in a very traditional, Christian, I mean, sorry, Catholic, upbringing. My grandmother was really strict about witchcraft and all things evil and dark. So I used to kind of be offended in a way a while ago. But then I went through the phases of just having fun with names and calling myself the Hood Mother Teresa back in the day.
I
And
love that.
that wasn't a witch, but technically it was the witchier side of me where I just really was really in tune with my spiritual experience in the world. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I consider myself a witch, which was the original question?
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself a spiritualist more than anything. I really do believe like that all religions are valid, and I do believe that they all are talking about the same thing, just a higher power, a higher knowing. I've done research on quantum physicists who kind of think this, I believe in everything, science, everything. But I can't deny that with my roots and just being exposed to traditional religion like Santeria or Palo Mayimbe or anything of those or any Afro traditional religion, I see that there's so much within like our ancestry and our lineage, and like even dating back to like the Mayan civilizations where they did like certain rituals and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
just being like having all of that knowledge and just like seeing that and hearing that and seeing how so many of those religions that like they maybe still have some of those practices dated back to like Egypt, like ancient
Mm-hmm.
Egypt, which I'm also like part Egyptian, so I believe like in all of that too.
You
So
look Egyptian, actually.
I do.
Yeah.
I am. It's like so like random. Puerto Rican Egyptian. It's so
Mm-hmm.
random.
Mm-hmm.
But that too, like just Muslim religion, like I believe in everything. And then also my mom, like she named me after a TV show like Bewitched. So like
Mm.
my name is Samantha and then my sister's name was Tabitha. And
Wow.
so like I always thought that that was really funny. I'm like, "Mom, like how did you know?"
Yeah.
So I feel like, and then my grandma was like also like a medium. Like she could see, hear, touch, taste, smell, like the spiritual side. So like I believe in so many different things when it
Was your
comes to
grandma
that.
open about that?
She was like she didn't deny it or anything. Like she didn't deny when something would come to her, but she didn't really like partake in it. Like she didn't really feed into it, and she would just like kind of like ignore it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Mhm.
probably like back in the day, I'm sure it was more like looked down upon or like more like woo woo, which I hate that word, but like a lot
Yes.
of people know what that means. So I feel like back in the day, it was more like, they had the damn Salem witch trials and they were
Yes,
killing all these women
exactly.
back in the day.
And that has a lot to do with it. And like a lot of the research that I do, it all comes down to like how our trauma is really stored in our DNA. So if you think about it, years down later, if you're getting killed for some like reason, you're gonna be like, I'm good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll skip this part. So
Yeah.
I think that that has a lot to do with it. But I feel like right now, like a lot of us are just trying to question like things that just didn't work before, to try to apply them now. And like in modern time, I feel like the term witch is such a loose term, because it's like, okay, if you call me a witch because what? I use herbs in my bath, I put flowers in my bath, or because I like candles, but like everyone does that in their own way. Body wash has like, if you ever use a flavored body wash, it's like the same thing. So it's just so, it's like, what do you mean, like what do you mean by witch? And then it's like everyone has their own definition, but I feel like we've been made to be afraid of so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Be afraid of this, be afraid of that. The Bible is a whole book on like why to be like top reasons why to be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, and it's just to keep us unaware of our real power.
So
So,
true. So
yeah.
true. And even like astrology, like growing up. So I grew up, my parents are Jehovah's Witnesses. So very
Wow.
strict
Yes.
Christian household, so all of that witch shit was out the window. Like I wasn't allowed to
Whoa.
watch certain things.
Wow.
Like I didn't watch a lot of like movies until I
Yes.
was like an adult. So like registration is now open for both of our retreats coming up in 2025. We are going back to Arizona. Yep, back to where it started, baby. We're heading to Sedona in Scottsdale for 4 nights, 5 days to heal, to meditate, to ground ourselves, to have a deeper connection with ourselves. This is going to be a completely transformative experience. Join us for the Phoenix Rising Retreat from March 13th to the 17th, 2025. This is going to be amazing. If you've been asking about our first domestic retreat of 2025, well, this is it. We literally just opened registration. So reserve your spot. It's going to be freaking amazing. You can find all of our details on our website. And don't forget the Goddess Retreat in Greece. We're heading to Mykonos and the beautiful hidden gem Andros for 7 days, 6 nights from May 7th to the 13th. This is going to be an amazing experience if you're looking to connect with your feminine energy, if you're looking to soften, if you're looking to heal, if you're looking to really have a deeper connection with women and community and nature, and to soak in all that Greek goddess energy. So if you're interested and you're looking to take some time for yourself and start 2025 by putting yourself first and prioritizing your mental health, your self-care, your spirituality, your connection with yourself, then I invite you to register for our retreat. The only thing that's required to book is a deposit, and then you can make monthly payment arrangements up until January and February for the retreat. So any questions, feel free to hit us up at Real Hot Retreats on Instagram. Take a look at our previous retreats, see if you're feeling out the vibes. Hocus Pocus, things like that. Like, yeah, or I had to like sneak and watch it. Like I would be sneaking watching shit. But a lot of stuff like I was not allowed to watch because it was like this stigma, like, oh, it's demonic, or there's witchery, or like, you know, even with like, astrology, which I deeply resonate with astrology. Like I feel like I want to actually study it. And, you know, it's like, why are we not educating our children on it's science?
Yeah.
Astrology is science. Like it's in the fucking stars.
Yeah. And it's when it comes to astrology, it's like it's a map. It's like a blueprint of like why things are the way they are, why things happen the way they happen. And it's like why things change, why seasons change. So obviously it has something to do with why we exist. And it's just, you know, what do you want to see it as? The sun as in like the father, or like the sun in the sky? And I think more people are starting to become more aware of like that they are both things. They are a human having a human experience, but they're also spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. And we just don't have any more time to negate like that fact. Like this is what it is. If we don't pay more attention to the spiritual side of things, and like, you know, believing in like, we all know right and wrong. We all know right and wrong. You know, right from wrong, and there are going to be consequences. And I feel like that's where things start to get like iffy, and people start to be like, "Oh my god, I don't want any consequences in my life because of this or because of that." And I think with any choice that you make, there's going to be a consequence. Whether it's good or bad, that's on you. 100%. You know the choice that you're making, you know your intention. And that's the biggest thing. Like that spark, that intention, whether it's evil or whether it's like you had the best intentions for someone, you can't force someone to understand your intention.
Facts.
So, and it's like you can't force someone against their will. You just can't control what another person is going to do or how they're going to react. So, just when you're doing something, make sure your intentions are thinking of both or every party involved. And like if people became more aware of like how they're also like hurting other people, instead of looking at it, oh, you're just a dollar, you're just a number. Like, you know, it's I've so many things have changed for me, the way I look at life, understanding more and more that as much as I'm a physical person, what I do behind closed doors matters more than what I do in front of everybody.
Period.
And I'm
Facts.
starting to really like buckle down on that and really like get raw, like who's allowed around me, like who's allowed to like be in my space, like who is allowed to like experience me, because I am an experience. Like we are, as humans, we are an experience. And to share that your space with someone is a very vulnerable thing. And people think they have so much access because of this. Like you
Mm.
see me on the camera, you think you know me, like, oh, I've seen her before. She got kids. She be walking around all with her bun all raggedy. Like, like with her raggedy little bun. Like, that's all
Stop.
right.
Stop it right now.
I'm just saying, like, people think they have access to you. And I wanted to also like know, I watched Wicked. Like I made sure that I watched Wicked before I came.
Oh, so
Cause I
fucking
wanted
good.
I wanted to understand like why you were so inspired to like talk about it and to like be in that. Like how was that experience for you? And I want to like talk about the movie and like how I felt about it. Yeah,
Yes, I would love
yeah,
to. So I
yeah.
had seen the Broadway show when I was in like
Yes.
high school,
Oh my
and because we were
god.
doing
I've never seen
chorus,
it.
girl. So my life was changed like at that moment, like from high school, and then I saw it again last year for my birthday on Broadway,
Oh,
and then it fucking came out on my birthday this year again. So
yes.
I'm like, I'm definitely going to see it. Like, it's been my favorite musical, but like there's so many themes in it, and I think like the biggest thing is like Alphaba not realizing her power for
Yes.
so long, and like
Yes.
people putting her down, being afraid of her, like trying to,
Yes.
like the sorceress, trying to use her for her powers.
Yes.
And then she finally comes to this wizard. Sorry if this is a spoiler. Y'all should have seen it by now.
Oh my god.
She goes to the
Yeah, yeah,
wizard
yeah.
and he has no
Right,
fucking
right.
power,
Yeah.
which is like a lot of men in the society. Sorry, not sorry. But it's like you're this whole wizard that people are looking up to, and it's like, meanwhile, bitch, I'm the one with the motherfucking power.
Right, right.
Like that shit is
Right.
crazy. And then what we see is like them flip the switch where like now they're calling her a wicked witch.
Wicked
And
witch.
it's
Yeah,
like
at
we
the
see that so
end.
often in real
Right.
life.
It happens. It happens. It really does happen. But I think it's a good thing to show, because it's like you see, and this is exactly what I was just talking about. You see the facade side, like you see, like, oh, I'm a good person. I'm
Yes.
a good person. I'm such a good person.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the wicked witch is the good person, and she just wants to do good, and she's doing good. She's trying so hard to do good, and that one moment that you guys let her slip up, now it's on. Now it's over. Now everybody's gonna fucking get it. Like, wait till part two. Like, everybody's gonna fucking get it. You fucked up now. Like, and that's how, and it's that's how God is. The universe, whoever you want to believe in, however you want to call it, whether you want to believe in, oh, everything is light and everything is like, there's no darkness.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no darkness. No, when you do something wrong, there is a repercussion.
Always.
There is a huge repercussion for like
But
intentionally doing something to harm somebody.
always. Look at Diddy. Look at Jay-Z now. There's still connections
Yes.
around like everything that's happening. Aaliyah, there's
Yes.
connection with that.
Yes.
Justin Bieber, connection
Yes.
with that. Like all these abused children.
This
Listen.
is such a distraction. Like it's a
Yeah.
huge distraction. So y'all gotta be careful. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be careful as to like, don't, because I think that's what happened to me. Like I'm trying to find any reason to like figure out why I let this little thing slip me this morning, because like Mars is like bugging out right now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like see, because I've been on point. Like I've been on point with everything, and I've seen this like slip, and I'm like, whoa, this is intense. Like this is a real like, between that and the Luigi guy.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like,
what's going on with that?
I'm so like entertained with this that I know like it's because I have so many things like going on for me that if I miss one little thing, it's like gonna fuck me up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is the devil's a liar. This is a distraction, and like I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just literally, these are the facts.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is like coming from this and like what point they're trying to prove, but I think that it's gonna be time where people, and this is the whole point of it. The whole point of exposing P Diddy's, of exposing Jay-Z, of exposing everyone is for you guys to take a quick look in the mirror and say, why are we condoning this?
Period.
Why are we condoning this? And not just this, but like in general. Like in general, there we have been, like, I have been to plenty of parties. I have been to plenty of places where things like this are happening all the fucking time and nobody says shit. Nobody says nothing. Like, fuck what they're doing. Like, we've been in similar situations. I wouldn't say with fucking minors or anything disgusting like that.
Right.
Because that's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, how disgusting can you be? And then, but then you look at it and somebody, what was it, the Hood Healer? She posted Beyonce at 18 standing next to Jay-Z at 30 when they first announced they were dating.
She was groomed. She
Is
was
she
given.
they were like, is this not an 18-year-old? 18 from 15. They met when she was like 16, 15.
She was handed over to him.
So it was like, I mean, did this not make sense in a way? Like, did we not see the signs? So like, why weren't we questioning it then? But now we're so quick to question it now. Like, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't anybody say, like, what's happening here? Like, what should we be aware of now? Same thing with like parents. Like, if your daughter is a distant, like, it's because, you know, like, as a mother, if my son was distant from me, as a mother, as someone who like came out of my womb, if my son is distant with me, even for 2 minutes, I'm like, what's wrong? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And to know that there's so many children or adults that don't have proper parenting. Like, I'm not saying that I'm the best mother in the world. By far, I am not the best mother. I make mistakes every single day. I yell sometimes. I scream. My job right now has given me more patience than I've ever had in my motherfucking life. That is a fact. Like, 100,000%. I'm like the best mom I could ever be right this second. But it took me a lot of mistakes to get here. But never did I like see that my son needed me and I turned my back on him. Never, ever. I don't care where we were at. I don't care in what type of situation we were at, how manipulated we were, whatever I got coerced into, like whatever situation, fucked up situation we were in. I always knew that I have to be there for him in a way that nobody else is going to be there for him. To try to know when he's experiencing that symptom of like, something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. But where are these parents? Where are these children's parents?
They see dollar signs. They see opportunity. Same thing with Justin Bieber's mom. Same thing with the girls that were trapped with R. Kelly for years. Like, it's like, same thing with Aaliyah, unfortunately. You know, and it's like, these things don't click to people. When that whole R. Kelly tape came out with him freaking peeing on this girl,
nobody
like,
said shit.
people
Everybody
are
was
laughing. Dave Chappelle making a whole skit about it, laughing.
Yo,
I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie. But I also didn't understand at that age the severity of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're young and dumb in middle school laughing about shit. But it's like, that shit is not funny.
No, it's not.
That shit is disgusting.
Yeah.
They work with like dark energy, which is like, we could talk a little bit about like the different energies where like, yeah.
Okay, like, I would consider myself a light witch. Like, I don't really feel like the necessity in this time in my life to be like the type of person that is like gonna be like sending negative energy back. Even if you send it my way, like, they don't know. Like, you have to grow through like your darkness. Like, you gotta be mad dark at a certain point to know that like that shit doesn't work. Like, you just gotta be in your darkness, and you gotta give out darkness sometimes and be like, fuck, this really fucked me up even worse. And then you're like, I don't really, maybe next time I won't do this. Like, maybe next time I won't send it back. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, and that's like, like let's just talk about like spells real quick, because that's like super witchy, and like I feel like that's something that people should be educated on, like witchcraft, like going to like witch doctors, spending money, like like, or getting your tarot cards. I do readings, like getting your tarot cards or whatever, but I'm one of those tarot readers that you don't want to book unless you really need to know. Because I'm gonna tell you flat out, I'm gonna be like, that nigga ain't shit. You need to excuse my language.
You're good.
I'm like, he's horrible. Like he fucking lives in a dumpster. That's where you found him. That's where he gonna end up be at. Like, I don't want to hear it. You keep putting yourself in dumb situations. I'm not doing this. Click.
Virgo shit.
No, I don't got time. Like, I'm so old. Like, I just turned 34. Like, I'm a seasoned witch at this point. And I'm still growing through shit.
Yeah.
But I don't have the time to watch my friends suffer. Like, I don't have the time to watch my people suffer. Like, I don't care if you're not even really my friend. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, let me take all this money from you.
Yeah.
And you need to pay me $1,000 to take this hex off of you. I've never been that type of person. I have, I have helped people in exchange for a blessing back. And whatever that blessing wants to be, I take many forms of blessing back. Like, I've taken food. I've taken like fucking whatever, anything.
Yeah.
Anything it could possibly be, like, but energy, any type of energy exchange, I've taken that. Reiki, whatever, classes, whatever. I've exchanged many things for like my energetic services. And I've even accepted money, because when it comes to that point, it's like you have nothing else to give me, but you have to like show your respect for the spiritual
and
like
the gifts
behind it. And that's with anything, you have to show your respect, right? You're gonna walk, if you walk into like church, let's say, to speak, they give the offerings like anywhere else, right? So why would you go to a witch doctor or like a something and try to get shit for free? It just doesn't make sense.
No.
It's everything is an exchange. But with that, I would say like, just between reading up spells on Google or watching witch talk or whatever, just know what you're doing and know your intention. Like, if you see something, you're like curious and you want to try it, I would really, really try to ask someone who really knows, because there might be a step that you really need to know in order to make it like right, and then you might miss a tiny little step and like really fuck everything up. Like, fuck up your own life.
Wow.
Like, especially if you're really trying to fuck somebody else's life up and you're like putting them in a jar, like how people say, and like doing a jar spell, or
and like why even do that? Why even waste your time doing that?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I feel like with spells, I feel like magic, magic definitely does exist. Magic exists within us. Like, we are magical, powerful beings. So why not take that freaking power and magic that you have and put those spells on yourself?
Yeah, towards like a greater purpose. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I've been focusing my energy for like the past 2 years. Anything that comes my way. But there have been a few weird occurrences where I'm like, something is weird, like something has been fishy, and it'll be like a certain person or like a certain energy where like you can feel like their evil eye is so strong against you. Maybe they don't even know it. Maybe they just like hate their life so much that they're like, why is this bitch happy?
Yes.
Why? Like, I'm so miserable. So I think that's a thing too. Like, and it also comes with like, I've experienced too, like sometimes experiencing older women. I don't want to say that they haven't like reached their goals, but I noticed that no one is perfect. Like, no one has reached all their goals. We're always working on ourselves constantly.
As long as we're alive.
Right. So if like you have your career in order, maybe you don't have kids yet. If you have kids right now, maybe you don't have your career in order 100%. If you have freaking whatever, like that's my example. So it's like everyone's always constantly working on something. But when you're dealing with like the dark aspect of that, or like the dark side, especially I feel like as women, there's a lot of competition when it comes to like older women, or like just a little bit older. Like, it doesn't have to be much older. I just experience, this is my experience, where maybe it's a wound that they, and I've experienced a bunch of wounds. Like right now, for example, like financial wounds, or like the instability of like not being housing insecure, and like not knowing where I'm gonna sleep at. You know what I'm saying? That has came up for me a lot, and I've dealt with it, and I know that tomorrow's gonna be better. And I pray, and I do my rituals, and I give my offerings. Sometimes I get so busy that I can't give my offerings, but I feel like in my heart and soul they know that all the blood, sweat, and tears that I'm putting in, that's my offering. But still, I like to be on top of my stuff, because I know when I'm not on top of my stuff, shit does go like left.
Yeah.
Because you kind of leave energy out.
Yes.
Like if you don't clean it up.
Like leakages.
Parasites, like just walking down the street, picking up somebody's like negative, like, or I live by a cemetery, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm probably the wrong person to send a spirit to my house. That's probably the worst idea you could probably have.
Yeah.
But still, I'm not sitting here fucking summoning like demons and shit. But certain people do believe in stuff like that. There is dark magic where people will summon like dark entities, dark energy, to go and like torment a person. And just be very careful if you're trying to like do something like that, even if it's in defense to someone who is like in direct threat to you. Like, if there's any other way, just go about it that way, unless your life is really in danger. You got to be very careful, because honestly, anything that comes my way, my mind is what your mind is what they're trying to like distract. Your mind is what they're trying to like get over you on you. So when it comes to negative like energy in general, when I come across it, I observe it, I clean it. I always do spiritual baths. That's a spiritual hygiene for me is like really important, because it's so much that I can't see. So I want to make sure that I'm doing my part, and I would don't leave it up to chance for my energy, my aura to be clean. That's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I could do that a lot of ways. I could take a salt bath. I could, go to the Botanica and get herbs. I used to work at a Botanica for a long time in Clifton, and I would sit there and I would just learn all the herbs, and like I would read books, and like do play with cards, and just all day like do witchy stuff. It was my best job ever. Like my favorite job. I learned so much. And like I think it saved my life at one point, because there's been times where I'm like in really shitty positions, and I'll cleanse my energy, and things will like, this is what I want to talk about. This ties back to like the whole fiance stuff. Like, I feel like certain energies like that they tap into is also kind of like a possession
Absolutely.
type of thing. And that's also something that it can happen. Like, for example, if there's someone who doesn't really believe in like spiritual hygiene, maybe they just haven't paid attention to it, or really don't even think about it, or it's not even in their like vicinity. Like, they have no idea what that is.
Right.
And they're carrying something. Like, you can tell there's visible signs that people are carrying things.
Like, they're insecure. They might not have support from family. They might not have people around them. They're not protected by God.
Yes. And like, I say that because I say that they're carrying like an energy that's maybe like a demonic possession, or a family member that can't move on, like can't cross over, that's like really protective of them, or that's a thing. Like, that's a real thing that is like in the spiritual community. What they do is a misa to kind of like put like, the priest will get possessed and kind of come from the the spirit world and tell you, this is what's going on, this is what you have to do, this is how you can fix it. Or they'll tell you, this is from lineages, this is something you can't fix, this is something that's gonna affect your life, and you just have to figure out how to get everyone on the same page to deal with it. So it's like, and if you don't have access to the, how are you gonna know? You know what I'm saying? So there's certain people who are just walking around with grudges. Like, it looks like a grudge. And it's funny because like the movie The Grudge, possession, grudge, having a grudge with someone, it's kind of funny. But it's like, that's what it looks like. It looks like the person's agitated all the time. Or like they get really agitated to the point where they don't know why they're agitated. And then they like base their energy off of your energy, and then now you're agitated, and then they don't know why you're agitated, so they're like, why is this person agitated all of a sudden? And they're like, oh, I didn't know I met my match. Like, oh, I didn't know that this person was gonna be retaliatory towards my demon. I thought I could just parade my demon around this person and I would be fine like everyone else. That's not the case. You're going to come across people who don't put up with your shit. There's going to be people who don't put up with your demons.
And they're protected.
And they're fully protected. And like, you could be smiling in front of a demon's face and be like, as long as you're clean, that demon has nothing to do with you. However, there's some things that, especially if you're busy like me, I sometimes don't have time to clean. Like, not to clean my space, but like to spiritually do everything at once. Like, clean, wash, mop the floors. I bet I got a big ass space. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is a lot of work. I gotta feed my kids. I gotta freaking work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Like, I don't know. Like, how am I gonna make time for all of this? So I feel like sometimes it does catch up. Like, sometimes it's inevitable. You're gonna go through shit. And like, sometimes you can't explain why you're going through that shit or how you got there. All you could do is go from there. Like, address the issue. If you have a friend, or if you have a person that calls themselves a friend, and they always have some sort of grudge with you, like, address that issue head on. Tell them, bro, like, you know, or whatever you have to say, like, this is how you feel. I have no ill will. I have no feelings of that sort. You're gonna have to figure that out on your own. And when you figure it out, maybe then we can like share energy. But for now, I'm good. Like, I need my space. You have to tell that thing that you're not afraid of it, but you also want nothing to do with it. Like, sometimes I don't even acknowledge it. I say it's like a fart, like it doesn't even get into my auric field. But you have to build a lot of resilience for that, because to have someone like screaming, foaming in your mouth, like foaming at the mouth, and you are supposed to just stay calm, that's not easy.
That's a huge test.
Yeah.
That's a huge test. And yeah, there are a lot of people. I want to go back to like even you know, what we were talking about with like dark and light energy. And also sometimes like even if you don't consider yourself casting a spell or putting negative energy, it's like your words in themselves, you know, like you might say something like, oh, I hope that bitch's business fails, or I hope that bitch, you know, loses her baby. And it's like, you're not thinking of like that you're actually saying these things and putting them out, but like,
it's true.
This is real shit.
It's really sad.
And there's people who are just out here saying crazy shit and not thinking about the consequences of it and how it's affecting other people. But those are spells in itself.
They are. And it could even be like spells on yourself. Like, girl, I'm broke. Girl, I'm broke. Like, hold on.
Like, stop fucking saying
girl,
that.
I'm rich.
Yes.
Girl, I'm abundance. So it's really a mindset. It takes time. I feel like I'm still learning every single day how to rewire my brain to be like healthy. Like, I feel like SZA said it the best. Like, I was like, I sometimes I just feel like I wish I was normal. Like, I wish I was normal. I guess all the witchy girls probably feel that. Like, I wish I was normal. Like, I wish I could just pay attention and just like focus on one thing and like, but
Or
I
just
feel
not
like
give a shit about anything.
it's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's so scattered. Like, having like an intuitive or like empathic type of like personality, you feel everything,
Everything.
everything, and you can't help but like not feel. And that's what I'm learning. It's not personal. Like, not everyone is my like burden to heal, especially as women in relationships. That's been the biggest one for me. Like, I can heal this
No.
thing. I can bring it back to life.
No.
I can fix it. I
Nah.
can put the band-aid on and it's gonna be fine. But absolute, there's no witchcraft in the world strong enough to do that.
Go ask your mama to do it. She's a witch. Go. Go
Yes.
ask your grandma.
Yes.
No. And like,
Yes.
I feel like that was very common, like in my 20s. I feel like a lot of us, our 20s was all about like, oh, let me fix this. Oh, let me
Yes.
prove myself and let me, let's make this work. And I got you and let me lift you up and let me. And also, I want to
Yes.
talk about sexual energy and
Yes,
sacral
yes.
energy
Yeah.
because a lot of
I
us
have a big one on
are
that.
giving away our sexual energy, our life force to these men, and they're literally taking from us
Oh yeah.
our creative energy.
Yep.
All the things that we could be putting out into the world to create this, to create art, to create music, to create children. But we're wasting that energy on these men who are literally sucking the
Yep.
fucking life out of us. And then
Yep.
we wonder why we're depressed. We wonder why we're anxious. We wonder why we're broke. We wonder why,
Yes.
we're walking around without a man because we
Yeah.
gave everything to these men who didn't deserve it.
Exactly. I can't even. I have 2 baby daddies, so you can't tell me nothing about sucking energy out of me. Like, I can't even begin to explain my birthing stories. But besides that, honestly, I feel like if I could do my 20s over again, I really would. I really would redo my
But
20s.
we had to do our 20s like that.
I know. I guess you're right, but bro, like, being such a like giving to the point where you're crippled yourself is crazy. Like, and like to continue to be that docile and that nice is like, it's like, it's hard to not think that everything is like the good witch. She's so oblivious that she doesn't even know that what she's doing is like wrong. You know what I'm saying? She thinks that everything is perfect. She sees no harm, she sees no wrong, and the only thing that she can compare it to or judge is like the fact that she's green. Like, you know what I'm saying? She couldn't get over the fact that she was green. And then as they go and they have a friendship, like, it's just like, I can't explain it. I've given so much to these men that my only thing right now is like,
oh my god, y'all. So I just bought a brand new pair of professional dance heels from Burju Shoes and I am completely obsessed. These are not only fashionable, but they're completely, absolutely comfortable. They're so lightweight, they fit my foot like a glove, and my feet are just completely happy. Versus when I first started taking heels classes and teaching heels classes, I was just picking up random heels from department stores and they were killing my feet. My feet would be swollen, I would have blisters, they would scuff up the floor at the dance studio. So I'm so happy that I came across Burju shoes. These are without a doubt the best heels in the industry, and a few celebrities including Chloe Bailey, J-Lo, and Megan Thee Stallion have been spotted wearing these during their big performances, so you know they're good. You absolutely need to invest in yourself this year and stop wasting your money on shoes that will only last you a week, girl, okay? If you're looking to level up and get into your heels bag and, just build your confidence, you're gonna need the right shoes. So these shoes will completely level up your dancing and help build your confidence because you're not worried about how your feet feel. Me and my clients have been wearing Berju shoes for a few years, and I'm honestly never gonna switch back. Like, I would never switch back to a department store heel, okay, honey? These shoes are lightweight, stylish, durable, and they come in a variety of different heel heights and styles for every different type of dance. The service is incredible, and if you need to exchange a size, they'll quickly help you do that. I do recommend ordering one full size up since these shoes are meant to hug your foot. So check out the amazing selection at berjushoes.com. Use my discount code RISFITKitty. That's RISSFITKITTY to save some cash on your next purchase. And let's get to dancing.
I want to know, like, when is someone gonna come and step to me and be like, these are the things I like about you. These are the things I may not like about you. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm willing to work on it. I'm willing to join like forces on a few ideas. I'm willing to collaborate with you and see where we could like fit in, like where we could help each other. Instead of it being like a tug of war.
Yeah.
Oh, like, oh, this is the perfect bit. Like, this is the perfect woman. This is ideal. This is not the ideal woman. And then we're basing that off of looks. But she's really nice. The woman who doesn't have all the looks together, she's really nice. She understands me. She makes me feel good, which is what men really want. They want to be heard. They want to be listened to. They want to be treated like kings. They want to be catered to. But on the other end, it's like,
what are you giving?
Like, the other one, she may be pretty, she may be hot, she may be beautiful, she may have nice this and nice that, but she's dumber than a bag of rocks. She only wants me for my money. Who knows if she's faithful? Let me take a chance on it anyway. And that's where y'all at with it. Like, that's where you guys are making decisions from, and it's like, okay, so you're gonna continue this cycle to put down the one person that was sent to help you, and you just can't admit it. It's something about the power struggle, like, and we could see it with like the presidential election and everything. Kamala was never gonna win.
Yeah, she didn't have a chance.
She never had a chance ever. To even put her in that, and for us to even think that she would even remotely even almost have a chance, was not fair to anybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are gonna start waking up more and more. Please, Lord,
take them.
take them.
Bye.
Please, all the upper class. Just take everybody. Leave us here. We're gonna regroup.
This is a freaking mess. One last thing I want to talk about.
Sorry.
No,
Oh my
you're
God.
good.
Where
You're
do we
good.
go?
I'm not. We're all over the place, but this is good. I hope you guys are enjoying this. So one last thing I want to talk about is like the awakening, right? The awakening of the feminine, the awakening of the witch. Like, now we have Threads, which I freaking love because I feel like Threads are so curated. So once you like put something,
can you not?
Girl, you see
I was cursing people out on Threads this morning.
Why?
At 7 a.m.
What?
Because of my water theory. I'm very nonchalant with I'm a poet. I'm a Virgo. I have like 5 placements in Virgo. So I really like to get into the poet, like the poetry of like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So I posted something and I was like, do you guys not have a theory yet as to why they're going up back and forth so many times?
Yeah.
Have you not thought about it? And then like everybody wanted the answer. They were so mad at me that I posted like something that wasn't fully there. So they're like, you're a waste of time. Like, you're fucking like,
people are so rude,
cursing me out. And then I was like, fuck you.
People are so rude. Yeah, certain things I'd be having to like consider if I even want to write it.
Just do it. Cause why not? Why not? Clap back.
No, I mean like putting that initial thought out
It's
there because
okay.
people, there's always going to be some dumb person that like, not that it has to be agree. Like even if you put that out and nobody responded, like who
Yeah.
cares? It's still
Yeah,
a thought
'cause
that you
I
put
knew
out.
they were gonna respond. I knew the bots were botting, and which is why I didn't say Shlilan Schmusk. Didn't even say that. You thought about it. You thought about it, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Because it
This is her
all makes
podcast.
sense. It's all, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, there's this
Yeah.
collective, like, awakening that I think a lot of us are coming into terms with. Like, this is not right. Like, there's
There's
something going
something wrong
on.
here.
And it's like, now we're really in, I feel like we are in this place where we have to really stand up and fight for our rights, and we have
yeah.
to, but also like not feeding into the bullshit. Like I'm not
Yeah.
saying like feeding to the political bullshit, but like take care of your fucking selves,
Take care
like
of
speak
yourself.
up
Go
for
grocery
women.
shopping. Get extra groceries. They're taking massive amounts of water off. Or if my theory is correct, we're fucked. Real fast.
But yeah, I just feel like women are waking up. Like we're seeing, even just like the astrology, going back to that, like the way that things are playing out with right now too, like Mars in Leo retrograde.
Yeah, it's Leo, Cancer. Mars is in retrograde. Mercury is gone. Is done in a few days. I think Uranus, Pluto, and something else. Pluto.
Mhm.
No, Pluto's out. of
Pluto's
retrograde.
in Aquarius now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not an astrologist.
Just a lot
but
of
I
shifts.
I follow enough to know. I know my body.
Yeah.
Like as a woman, that's what's most like. That's why we're so powerful. That's why they call us witches. Our womb will tell us everything, and it's like men don't have that sixth sense because they don't have that womb, like that connection to Mother Earth. So
Or the moon. We literally
Or the
cycle up with the moon.
exactly. And it's just like you guys don't know what we're experiencing. Like you don't know how serious life is. You don't take it as serious as us. You don't take your body as serious as we do. Even if you go to the gym or like whatever, maybe there are certain men who are in tune with their body. I'm not saying that there isn't, but it's just like that's why like I love doing yoga. Like when I have time to do yoga, I know my life is good. That's when I know that everything is good. Like when I have time to just sit there and just be with my body and my breath, that's why I know that everything's going to be okay. But like having a womb is the witchiest thing you could do. And like it's just it's the best. Like being a woman and the rise of the feminine right now really just means that we're not going to apologize for being who we are. And that's the witchiest thing you could do is be yourself. Not everyone knows that. And that has a so I'll end I think we can end the convo with this. Um when we talked about psychedelics, I talked about one thing really important, the mirror work. I don't know if you remember that part.
Like not looking in the mirror when you're on the psychedelics.
Not looking in the mirror when you're on psychedelics, realizing what life really is about, tailing on that very thin line of existence and non-existing, like whatever that means. So like let's say Hindu Indian tradition, like I said, I believe in all religions, but I feel like some of them are more ancient than others, so they have more like reference to how to like explain the embodiment of that aspect of life or death. Like that line. And I feel like if we're talking about that and with all due respect to like all Indian religion, like Hinduism, the goddess Kali, she's like the goddess of transformation. And I first experienced her energy during ceremony when I was like on the mountain and stuff, and we were like chanting and they chanted her thing, and she's like that fire energy. She's the only like woman energy or like woman or like female entity or energy that I've experienced in that realm of like fire, because that's like the fire altar where we're experiencing like the fire aspect, because she's burning it all away. Burn it all away, Kali, burn it all away. Na-na-na. If it doesn't serve me, then burn it all away. Burn it all away, Kali, burn it all away. And if it doesn't serve us, then burn it all away. So,
I love that.
and then is Om Namo Kali Kali Om Namo.
This is a Hindu song?
Namo Kali Kali Om Namo. Yeah, it's like a chant. It's definitely a chant. But and that representation of her burning it away, or just the name Kali, or just if you look, it's, and people who are like blessed into like the Kali, like that goes really deep. Like I would never even touch that type of energy, because it's really powerful, really ancient, really strong. But when you think about it, it reminds me of that moment when, let's say, you are on psychedelics and you're looking in the mirror, and that looking back, looking at yourself while you're looking back is very like profound. And I feel like the most powerful magic is mirror magic. Looking in the mirror, looking at, like, every time we've locked eyes, you can feel that intense energy. That's Kali energy. That's change. That's transformation. That's like fire happening as we're like here. So that is the witchiest thing you could do, is get to know yourself. Like, get to know yourself. Look in the mirror. And it's funny as hell, because like I am a very private person, and like I love my privacy. I had posted one time a post, and I said this in my post: mirror work is hard. Please forgive me for not being able to show up sometimes. Like, I don't have a huge audience on Instagram. Nobody fucking cares. But, and I posted it to my close friends, Nobody cares what I'm posting. Nobody gives a shit. But I'm apologizing to myself. It has nothing to do with anybody watching, and everything to do with me who's looking in the mirror. And there was a person, or like an energy that, there's energies that are going to feel like they are the only person that could talk about a certain topic, whether it's mirror work, whether it's whatever it is. There's going to be someone who does that line of work that isn't comfortable with, and that's where it comes back to like the woman shaming and like jealousy, anger, that resentment. That part of the negative aspect of the woman, the negative aspect of the witch, that darker aspect, that demonic side, that is gonna come in the mirror. You're gonna have to face that. You're going to see the darkest parts of yourself. You're going to see yourself in that light of non-existence. And you have to humble yourself in that moment. And you have to understand that everybody's experience isn't the same. When you look in the mirror, you're not going to see the same thing that I see in the mirror, and vice versa. Everybody's experience in the mirror is going to be different, but you are going to have to sit with the fact that darkness lives inside of you, and there is a side of you that exists at the same time that you don't exist. So it's like, that's why mirror magic is so powerful. And I would say it's deal with that aspect, because if you don't deal with it, there's going to be things quite literally that jump out at you from the mirror. And I will say this from experience of these energies and these entities trying to attack me. Like, literally, like, that time I posted the video, a piece of my mirror broke off and I stepped on it.
Ooh.
And like was bleeding from my fucking bottom of my foot.
Yo.
And I was like, yo, the hate is so real.
Wow.
It's like, you can't live with yourself that much that you're putting your energy towards that person, and to the point where my mirror broke, you have issues, you have problems, you have to deal with your own shadow. And then I have to take a look as to why I'm allowing that energy to even affect me to the point where it comes through my mirror. Like, where's my protection at? So be protected, protect your home, protect your aura, protect yourself. Don't share your energy. Work on the mirror.
I love that you brought that up. And one last thing I want to say before we end, I love that we get to finish on this because I practice mirror work with my students, with my girls in dance class. So usually when we have like a intensive, so we literally just did this on Wednesday. So I have them usually at the end of the class or the beginning, I have them go stand in front of the mirror, take a second, and I have them just like hear the thoughts that they're saying to themselves. Because a lot of times as women, what are we doing? We're criticizing ourselves. We're saying, oh, fuck, I'm ugly today. Even when you came in today, you know, like same thing, you know, like always. My girl had to check me the other day. She's like, do you only feel pretty when you put on makeup? Because I was like, I'm not getting on YouTube looking like this. Like, you know? So it's like, we are our biggest fucking critic. So having that time to stand in front of the mirror is very uncomfortable because we're not doing that throughout the day. We're either just standing there to put on makeup, to wash our face, to fix our hair, but we're not sitting with ourselves in the mirror and like really observing not only our looks but our thoughts, like what comes up when you are looking in the mirror. So I had them, I won't talk too much because I don't want nobody taking, let me talk. But I had them come up with, you know, just not even saying the negative thoughts out loud, but just sitting with it, but then coming up with a positive affirmation and saying it to themselves. And a lot of the times these women, they can't look at themselves. They're looking around saying the affirmation. I'm like, girl, look at yourself. Look at yourself in the eyes.
You are absolutely it.
It is you.
It's you. I love myself in the mirror. Like, I feel mad happy when I look in the mirror. I'm like, you're so cute.
You are cute. You have such a cute face.
But there's times I look and I look demonic. I'm like, oh shit. Who got on my bad side today? Like, no, there's days I feel like a witch. There's days I look and I'm like, you look like a witch. Like, and that's okay too. That I love that part of me too. Mm-hmm. I love to show somebody my side. There was a time in ceremony where somebody said, you look like a witch. I'm like, baby girl, you look way more witchy than I do right now. Like, for real. Like, there's like lineage of witch inside of you that I can see, and you're talking to me? No, we're all witches. We're all fucking witches. We're all witches. We all have that green face at times.
Facts.
For real.
Facts. Especially if you are, especially if you are a woman, especially if you're a woman of color, especially if you're a minority, especially if, you know, like you're indigenous. That is the green skin. Mm-hmm. You have powers, you have high intuition, you're clairvoyant, you're claircognizant, you know, like that is the green motherfucking skin.
The dark aspect is the feminine aspect. That's where the creation comes from. Yes. That is, you had to go somewhere. Like, the darkness had to like birth you from somewhere. Like, you had to come from somewhere.
And the womb is dark as hell.
Yeah.
You can't see in there.
But if you shine a light, the baby could see.
Wow.
When the baby's sleeping and there's a light that passes him, his eyes go like that.
Wow.
You don't think that was happening inside the womb too? Of course it was.
Wow.
The entire time.
Ugh, this was so good.
Yeah.
And I just want to leave everybody with a definition of witch. It means wise one.
Yeah.
It means,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It means like the wise one or the one with wisdom.
Wow. That's fire. I didn't even know the meaning of it.
And it's not just women. It's like men. They used to describe men as like witches, like doctors, people who like, you know, they had the herbs.
They have a lot of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I consider myself, I feel like if I could put an age on my soul, I feel really old in my soul, but I feel very young at the same time. I feel like there's so much more to experience, so much more wisdom. That's why since 3 years ago, I've been my New Year's resolution for the past 3 years has just been to listen. Just to listen. That way nobody could really question me because I'm just listening. And every time I start to speak on like when I'm not spoken to type thing. I don't do that. I'm a Virgo. I don't do that. I'm a Virgo. I don't talk when I'm not like, when I don't have nothing to say, I don't talk. So it's like for me to talk is because I really have something to say. And if I'm like jumping the gun and I'm just saying something to say it, like that's why I like writing more because I have time to think. My brain doesn't think quick enough. So when I say shit, I be like, fuck you. But really, I'm trying to just form my sentence. And it's just, it may come out the wrong way. But it's like, I'm not doing that. I'm listening. I'm being more mindful. I'm being more conscious of what I'm saying, what I'm not saying, things where I have to improve in that area, you know, where I have to speak up more.
Yeah.
That too. That's been a huge thing.
Facts. And thinking about like when you do have to speak up. Like I'm dealing with something right now. Two things where I have to say something, but I'm like trying to figure out the way to say it where like, you know, because you know Scorpio and Virgo are very similar. Like we could go from fucking 0 to 100 real quick. And the words that can come out of our mouths sometimes
are not nice.
Yeah.
We really got to work on that delivery part.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to do. I got to work on that. For sure. For sure.
Well, Samantha, can you tell the people where they can find you?
Yes. On Instagram, I'm on Friday Adams. I'm sure she'll tag it. And yeah, right now that's the only channel that I'm trying to associate with my witchy side because I'm trying to do big things.
Period.
So yeah, that's sort of thing.
Yes. And
oh yeah, and on TikTok, Cosmic Soundgarden.
Yes.
There too.
Yes. She does beautiful sound healing, sound meditation.
Yes.
She has a beautiful voice. She also does vocal coaching. Yeah. So check her out. Check her out. And thank you guys so much for listening today. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. There was so much to unpack. So definitely, if you need to pause, come back, rewind, send this to a friend. Okay, share. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button, drop a comment, let us know if you're a witch. Are you a good witch? Are you a bad witch? Like, I don't know. Let us know. And right, are you a green witch? Period. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, please leave us a rating and review. That would help us out so much. It's 2025. We're growing and glowing over here. So help us out. Support us. We are supporting all our sisters, witches, and bitches this year. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Samantha, for coming back.
Thanks, babe.
I love
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you. And we'll see you guys in another episode. Bye.